You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Hazelton Honda.
Welcome inside Harold L. Bolick Memorial Field. We're in Selinsgrove, Snyder County. This afternoon, it's the PIAA Class AA State Semifinals as Bishop McDevitt out of District 12 battles Southern Columbia from District 4. A pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Ide, and welcome to our final broadcast for Friday Night Rivals, a special Saturday edition. Joining me, as he's done all season long, former Tuckhannock area coach Jan Cechak. And Coach, Southern Columbia is making their 22nd appearance in the state semifinals. If they make it to Hershey next week, they could go for their 4th straight state title. Incredible. But a lot of people thought this might be a down year for the Tigers.
The Tigers, boy, did they surprise a lot of people. Losing 4 Division I starters last year, everyone thought the Tigers were going to be a little bit slow and sluggish. They came out swinging, and they are a team on a mission. All these kids have had a lot of playing experience in all those games that they blew out last year.
Let's talk about Bishop McDevitt, the visitors from District 12. They only played 3 regular season games. They're on a roll. They're 4-1 overall. They beat Dunmore and Camp Hill to get to today's game. They run a spread offense. They like to throw the ball, but they also can run the ball with our Toyota Spotlight player, James Bermudez.
Number 34, 5'10", 190-pound sophomore, does a tremendous job running in that fullback position for the Lancers. Talking to Coach right before the game, he was saying that they lost to Archbishop Wood, who's been a perennial state champion before, and he wanted to get that game under their belt because they were sure they were going to face Southern Columbia this week.
Let's talk about the Tigers. Their offense averages over, 300, 400 yards per game on the ground in the 300s, 360, 370 per game. They can run the ball out of that wing T. And there's another Garcia we're going to talk about. Our Toyota Spotlight player this year is Gavin Garcia.
Gavin Garcia, the junior, 5'10", 190 pounds. The young man is just incredible. He loves Saquon Barkley, and that's who he emulates running the ball. And if he doesn't like the hole he sees, he bounces it to the outside.
Beautiful day for high school football, especially in November. Let's check in now with the weather with Ali Debicki from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Hey there, everybody. I'm here with your Friday Night Rivals forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ali Debicki. Now, as you're gearing up for the game, the call on the field, it's good. Look at our conditions. We are going to be dry from the beginning to halftime of the game. We will see a few more clouds out there, though, and a few pops of sunshine. Temperatures, as a result, holding to the low and middle 50s through game time today, but at least we are dry. That's your check and your forecast. We're going to send it over to the field.
This is the first meeting between the Tigers and the Royal Lancers. The winner goes to the PIAA Class AA State Championship next week in Hershey. It's Bishop McDevitt and Southern Columbia next.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
And here's Bishop McDevitt, the Royal Lancers, 4-1 coming in, their first appearance in the state semifinals. And they are the 10-time state champions, the Southern Columbia Tigers, looking for 4 in a row. That's if they can win today. Welcome back to Harold Bolick Memorial Field. We are in Selinsgrove this afternoon, and not only Coach Cechak is it special for this team, it could be a special day for Southern Columbia head coach Jim Roth. He has 454 wins. That's second all-time in the state. Right now, George Curry has the lead, but if the Tigers can win today, he'll tie Coach Curry at the top spot.
I mean, look at those numbers that these gentlemen have won. Statistically, like Coach Roth, I just did real quick over his 37-year tenure, that's a 12.5 game wins a year. And again, contributing to those wins is how he has this program going, and plus all those state playoff runs that he's made.
And how about for our area? The top 3 coaches in our area are from northeastern central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Curry, God rest his soul, and, I mean, he just did so much for the sport of football, as did Coach Henses did up there. I mean, he put Dunmore on the map. I mean, 3 great guys, 3 great programs, and they talk about the coaching tree. Yep. Talk about the player tree of all those 3 coaches put together.
Coach Roth is not going to slow down. He's in his 37th season. He's very young looking, healthy. He's going to step down as AD, but he'll keep going. Our Lackawanna College kickoff this afternoon will be taken by Isaac Carter for Southern Columbia, who won the toss. They deferred. Bishop McDevitt will receive the opening kick in the PIAA Class State semifinals. Is underway. Long, deep kick taken by Corey Wright Downing, who has speed, and he's on his way into Tiger territory, all the way past the 40-yard line to the 38. What a way for McDevitt to start. So that means we'll see quarterback Nick Santos, 6'3", 170-pound senior. They do throw a lot. No interceptions on the season, but 7 touchdowns.
But he's done a great job this year. And I know one thing that Nick Santo does. He has a real quick release, which can drive defensive coordinators crazy because they're going to have to either try to play that short zone or they're going to have to give that up. But, again, there's going to be a lot of completions here.
So a great opportunity for this Bishop McDevitt team inside Tiger territory to start this game. They averaged 28 points on the season. Santos back, trying to use the speed. And it is caught. What a fantastic catch by Kyrie Isaac. Batted around, and he brings it down.
Good job by the offensive line to give Santos time. And, again, he has the man beat, but look at how it bounced off the Southern Columbia player's helmet. And number 8, great concentration, hauls that in.
It's a figure law first down, a 28-yard gain just outside the 10. So looks like they made his first and goal. Handoff inside to the freshman Keon Kenner, up for a couple.
Watch this catch. This is just, great throw by Santo in here. Great coverage by the Tigers. Bounces off of number 10's helmet. And look at that. One hand brings it in, controls, and that's a tremendous job. That's just great high school football.
Isaac's 5th catch of the year. I don't think there's none better than that. We're inside the Allied Services red zone, opening possession for the Lancers. Kenner again. This is going to stop. There was some movement on the right-hand side, and we'll check out our officials this afternoon. Out of District 3, we have illegal motion. William McHale.
These officials, Bob said, were from District 3, the Lancaster County area. They didn't have to travel too far, unlike the crew. We had to travel almost 2 hours to get here today, but this is going to be well worth it.
It's well worth it already. McDevitt is already putting pressure on the Tiger defense that only gives up about 11 points per game. And another flag. And let's see what this one is.
I see the official counting, so that means somebody might have 12.
They're wave the flag off. They miscount it. So the ball back to about the 14-yard line. 2nd down on the way for the Lancers.
We see our spotlight player of the game, James Bermudez, is in the backfield now.
Trips to the right. Fake inside slant. Touchdown. It's a Blaze Alexander touchdown for the Lancers. 12-yard strike.
Is number 24, Emmanuel C. on this. Again, this is what Coach Roth was concerned about, was the quick release that Santos has. And the slant play is a very difficult pattern to defend to begin with. And again, when you have a quarterback that has such a quick release, it makes it more deadly.
Joakim McElroy is on for the extra point. They've struggled with this a little bit in the postseason. They got a guy on late, and coach calls a timeout. Coach Watkins calls a timeout on an extra point. Not when you want to use them, but boy.
12 men in line, 12 men in the field, offense.
So a flag down. No timeout taken, I believe.
No, again, they called the 12 man that time
on
the offense, so that should back them up.
So this will back the extra point up a little bit, but I don't know if the Tigers have been in a couple years tested like this early
Not on an opening drive.
No.
I would like to see when the last time Southern Columbia gave up an opening drive touchdown.
Well, there's a lot of speed on this team as you take a look at Coach Watkins, a graduate of Bishop McDevitt.
He was his 5th year as a head coach there. He's done a great job down there. This team came up 2.5 hours travel, and as we found out this week, they just were notified that the school is actually closing for good.
Lancer gets off late, no flags. So McElroy on for the extra point, like a 25-yard field goal. The kick is up, and they're going to stop it again. We are in slow motion.
For the play. Ball start. Offense.
That's the one thing I did
5-yard
notice
penalty.
from Bishop McDevitt. They make a lot of mistakes.
They really do, and you could attribute that to only playing the 5 games, but that shouldn't be this late in the season anyway.
They're
Bob.
a young team, though.
They are.
There are a lot of sophomores and freshmen playing.
And he's got some great athletes in there. And as I was saying, with them getting the news that the school's closing, these kids are really going to be giving everything they've got to try to make sure that they can put that exclamation point on Bishop McDevitt Lancer football program.
Well, let's try this again. Looks like a 30-yard field goal now for the extra point from McElroy. No whistle, kick is up, and that's going to be well short. So because of the penalties, the score remains 6-0. It's a 3-play, 39-yard drive, 1:58 off the clock, and Bishop McDevitt leads Southern Columbia 6-0. And we are back. The Lackawanna College kickoff from McElroy to Southern Columbia. Wes Barnes and Gavin Garcia deep to receive, and like a couple other things today, let the ball fall off the tee.
With the whirlwind that just occurred on those 3 plays, I'm sure that there's a lot of things swirling down there on the field right now.
If you're just joining us a little bit late, Bishop McDevitt just scored on their opening possession. They lead 6-0. A little short kick. Taken by one of the up men. That is Ian Yoder, and the Southern Columbia offense now comes on the field with Leon Claybon leading the way this year, just 6'1", 170-pound junior. 420 yards, 6 TDs, and 5 interceptions.
Well, again, Liam took over. Coach Roth had a shootout at the quarterback position this year, the preseason, to figure out who the quarterback was going to be, and Liam stepped in there and has done a pretty nice job. Again, they don't throw a whole lot, so he's not going to be the best passer.
They'll give it to Garcia. He has speed on the outside, and Gavin is up for a figure law first down inside Lancer territory up to the 43-yard line. 15-yard gain for Garcia.
You'll see they just come right here. You see 64 pulls on that, on their power play right there. And Gavin Garcia doing what he does best. Gets to the outside. His role model in the NFL is a guy named Saquon Barkley. I think, yeah.
Yep.
And
Know a little bit about him, another Pennsylvania product out of Whitehall. Another stoppage of play from the we have flagged down. We have too many men on the field. I think we'll have another penalty on McDevitt.
For the play. Illegal substitution on White. Defense. 5 yards.
That could have been maybe one of Coach Watkins' secrets to try to get 12 guys out there. But again, having that offense out there, you're going to need so much discipline.
Yep.
And again, we're not seeing that right now from the Lancers at this point.
Tigers 42 points per game on the season out of the wing tee. 9 guys on the front lines. They'll hand it inside to Barnes. He's up for a couple after the penalty. And let's take a look now at the Southern Columbia offense. Claybon and Barnes will be in the backfield. Barnes having a nice year, 694 yards and 8 touchdowns. There you see Garcia with Wozlowski. Jake Davis has caught the ball 5 times on the season. Up front, they're not the biggest offensive line we've seen all season, but their technique is one of the best.
And again, this is where everyone felt that the Southern Columbia Tigers would be really struggling this year, would be with the offensive line, but they have really gelled, and they've done a nice job this year.
Braden Wazlowski taken down for the loss.
They're trying to go with that outside speed sweep, and you see number 44 in there, number 7, putting the pressure on and making that tackle.
Samaj Bridgman, the sophomore, 20 total tackles on the year, 7 of those for a loss. He was all over the place on the film we watched this week as well.
And again, Bob, you had mentioned that these Lancers have a ton of athletic ability. They're very fast, and they really smother the ball carriers.
Claiborne Rush, and he's going to be taken down for the sack. Jordan Montgomery with the sack. His 6th tackle on the season, but he just blew up that play.
You'll see he just comes right in untouched. He beats the offensive tackle, and he just comes in there and just wraps him up. He's thinking he got the ball, but again, the quarterback was down, and again, the ball, no possession, turnover.
Loss of 6 puts him in 4th down, and the punt team will come on. Isaac Carter, this is his 15th punt on the season. McElroy's back to receive, and a great defensive stand from Bishop McDevitt. Coming in inspired in their first ever appearance in the state semifinals. Good kick away from McElroy, who hauls it in at his 8. Up for a couple, he's going to be up to the 25-yard line. As we have a minute, we'll take a look at the Lancers offense. Just 2 guys in the backfield, Santo and Bermudez. We talked about them already. And then 4 wideouts. We already saw the great catch by Isaac. Sia, we've seen 5 catches, but Downing, who had that opening kickoff, has 10 catches on this season. And up front, they have a couple big guys in the middle. Trust me, they're playing with 5 up front.
They have to, or else they'll get that penalty, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. You actually saw, the graphic actually showed their defensive line, their front 3.
Bermudez off the handoff, up for a couple. Taken down by Kerstetter, the leading tackler second leading tackler on this team.
Again, they run with like a little bit of a counter play right in there, a counter tray, except they're pulling now the tackle and the slot back to get the 2 guys over, as opposed to guard tackle as a true counter tray would.
McDevitt has a balanced offense on the season, 144 through the ground and through the air, 137, 281 yards per game. Again, they had a big win over Dunmore, and that's what we've noticed, 47-7. You don't see Dunmore lose that big a lot. Trying to get out for a quick hitter, downfield, knocked away, no flags. Good job by Ian Yoder on the play.
Ian Yoder's a strong safety, and they're really testing him right now. Great job with the fakes in there, and again, there's that quick release that Coach Roth is concerned about. Ball was just a little bit thrown behind, but Yoder does a nice job with that blanket coverage.
Trying to hit Corey Wright Downing, number 21, who had 3 catches in that Dunmore game for 90 yards.
He really showed his athleticism against the Bucks last week, but that was last week. They got a whole different, literally a different Tiger they got to worry about right now.
Bishop McDevitt beat Camp Hill last week, Coach.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Thank
2
you.
weeks
Thank
ago
you.
for
2
Dunmore.
weeks.
So, big 3rd down play for the Tiger defense. They're going to try this, basically the same play again, and it's just overthrown. This time they're trying to hit Sia on the fly, and the punt team will come on for the Lancers.
Again, he's got a quick release. He's getting decent time back there. Ball's a little wobbly, but again, he had him beat. And I know Coach Roth was really concerned about the speed at the outside receivers, and we're seeing the receivers get a little bit behind those defenders.
So McElroy is the jack of all trade on this team. He does the punting as well, and a lot of confusion on who is on the punt team. They may get a flag for delay of game, and they will right now. So again, Bishop McDevitt having trouble on a lot of the easy schemes. And
For the play, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
You could attribute that to possibly the long bus ride they had up here. But again, special teams, 1/3 of the game, and the kids are maybe they're too anxious. They're trying to come out too soon and cover up for somebody. I'm not sure. Again, that drives you crazy as a coach.
Davis and Garcia. Gavin Garcia back to receive at midfield. High snap, and they're going to run a fake. They're trying. McElroy's going to pooch it, though, a little Australian style. Garcia lets it go out of bounds, and it will come out of the Tiger offense at the 42-yard line. So what are the keys to the game, Coach, for Southern Columbia today, as presented by Keystone College?
Well, eliminate big plays, and we saw right off the start, the kickoff return was a huge play that got them set up. And Coach Roth really wants to try to run a balanced offense this week, trying to get the passing game going. He had to just that first series with that 3rd and long.
McDevitt really plugging the line of scrimmage, but Garcia finds a hole, and Garcia is off. Will he be caught? Gavin Garcia is in for a Blaze Alexander Southern Columbia touchdown. 58 yards. That is what the doctor ordered.
Well, you'll see right in here, it's just that quick trapping play, number 53, pulling for the Tigers on that. What a great job, and Gavin Garcia doing what he does best. That was Jackson Purnell up there that was pulling, who's the 6'1", 220-pound senior. Opened that up huge.
That is what you'll see from the Tigers. Carter for the extra point, and Southern Columbia takes the 1-point lead, 5:47 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, you see Gavin Garcia, well, they talk about burst and then they talk about speed. He has a great burst into the line of scrimmage, and then once he got free of that second level, he turned the afterburners on, and that's the speed we talk about, where he just separated himself from the free safety.
And a lot of these Tigers were like backups last year, but did get playing time in those big games when there's so the big blowouts. I mean, Gavin Garcia played a lot as we take a look at the replay again, but the other players were like playing in the second half, but they played so much that it was almost like they played varsity.
They did. They all got varsity letters for coming in and playing second halves. And Coach Roth, that's been one of the keys to his success every year, is that these kids, there's really not truly a new kid out there that doesn't have experience, because they've all played at least 5 full games last year.
Yeah.
So these kids, they just reload and they do what they do best, and that Southern Columbia wing T.
Carter kicks it away on the Lackawanna College kickoff, and just at the 1, it goes out of bounds. So Bishop McDevitt probably have it at the 35.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd take it at the 35. But, you know, the way they return it, maybe you back them up and get the return again, right?
You never know what I would do that, because the kids on kickoff team really are keyed in for one play, and then have them do it twice in a row usually works to your advantage.
Yeah.
Usually.
They're going to take it at the 35, and the offense will come back on now for Bishop McDevitt as they trail by 1 point due to the extra point that was no good on their opening series.
And McDevitt also set up that 4th and when they were punting to make it look like they were going to fake. So now Southern Columbia is going to have to keep that in the back of their minds now. Is he running it, or is he going to kick it?
Try the jet sweep to Isaac. Going to be a hold on the play from Bishop McDevitt, if you didn't know. This will come back. The play went for about 2 yards.
He wants it. Hold. Yeah.
Let's see if we see the hold.
Right there. It's right in here on the slot receiver right there. Number 21 just grabbed and turned the Southern Columbia defender, and you could see that the hands were all over him.
I think the experience that Southern Columbia has can't be taught. In a big game like this, you make little mistakes, they cost you a ball game. I mean, holding too many guys on the field, the little things. in the big games mean a lot.
And the experience that Southern Columbia has, that they've been to this type of state caliber game time and time again, is really paying off for them.
Santos out to Sia, up past the 30-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play.
Emmanuel Sia on this one does a nice job. Just goes, and he goes right in between the zone coverage right back there that the Southern Columbia Tigers are playing. I always talk about, we always tell the receivers to throttle down, get to that dead zone in between, and he did a nice job there to get some of that yardage back.
I think if you're Bishop McDevitt, you want to find either the receiver with the linebacker. You want to find that matchup that gives you the best chance, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And we saw that their last series, that they were really pushing against Yoder.
Isaac on the end around again. Southern says, we've seen this before. Coming up is Heim, number 1, the senior, making his 49th tackle on the season. It's a loss of 1, 3rd and long now facing Bishop McDevitt.
And McDevitt is trying not to be one-dimensional. They're trying to establish some type of a running game. And you see number 23 coming there, do a nice job with that hit.
Garrett Garcia. There's another Garcia. He's a freshman. Boy, he's coming in with 79 total tackles on the season. Make that 80. And that's a freshman.
That's and again, the expectations of the Garcias is there's a lot there from the family and from this coaching staff and community.
Santos hit while he throws. Great job on the inside as it goes incomplete by Kerstetter, the senior.
Kerstetter was shot out of a cannon on this blitz. He just comes in, look at that, just puts it and wraps his arms around the quarterback's arm, and then that ball you saw just comes flying out.
He won't get the sack, but the pressure put on and hit as he was throwing the ball. So McElroy again now will be forced to punt for Bishop McDevitt. Good snap. It's a high, short, end-over-end kick. It's really going to go for about 15 yards on the kick, out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Right around the, boy, a little less than, how about a 10-yard kick? They'll mark it out of bounds at their own 40-yard line.
Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships, celebrating 40 years of serving the community and the home of the $1,000 lowest price guarantee.
So after scoring their initial touchdown, the Tigers offense back on with great field position. They try to sneak Barnes inside. He's going to shoot up for about 1 yard. But really, Wes Barnes has been a great player for this team. With, you look at Garcia, but Barnes has rushed for 694 yards, 8 touchdowns. And last week, 14 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. He's been that other offensive threat that Southern needs.
The unsung hero, because we've heard so much about the Garcias. And again, you get somebody like Wes Barnes in there, and he gets those tough yards at that fullback position from the wing T formation they run.
And he's just a sophomore. They're going to try to pass it down themselves, and it is.
Wow.
Wow, what a fantastic catch. One-handed grab.
Wow, number 29.
Jake Rose, the junior, the catch of the year. We already had a catch of the year in this game.
And again, Coach Roth wants to be a balance, and look at this. He airs out. Watch this grab. One hand. Holy smokes, that is great concentration. His parents are right in front of us.
That would make Odell Beckham proud.
Oh, wow.
So it's first and goal after the first figure law first down. We're inside the Allied Services red zone. It's at the 6. Garcia puts his head down. He gets to about the 2.
They go. Again, this is going to make ESPN. Great camera work. Look at this catch. Great ball thrown. One hand pulls it in, secures it with his offhand, lands on his back, and it makes sure that the ball never touches the ground.
Second and goal. Full backfield. Give it to Wisloski. And Wisloski's in for a Blaze Alexander Southern Columbia touchdown. His 13th on the season.
The Tigers come in that full house backfield. And again, now you don't know. There's 3 threats right back there. And you'll see that they just run this power play. You got 2 up backs, the left halfback, the fullback lead blocking for Wisloski on that to punch it in. Great job by the offensive line to get that surge in there.
High snap. The kick from Carter is up. And that is through. So after trailing 6-0 early, 2 straight touchdowns by Southern Columbia, they extend their lead now to 8. 1:50 left in the first quarter.
Watch this catch again. Again, I think we are going to send this in to ESPN. This has got to make the top 10 highlights. I mean, that is just incredible. And again, it was good coverage, and the defender is actually taller than Rose. So the way that he jumped up at that last moment, one hand, and hauled that in. Great concentration.
So another Lackawanna College kickoff for Southern Columbia as Carter will tee this one up. Downing back to receive. Short kick again. This time the Southern Columbia special teams does a nice job on Corey Wright Downing, holding him back. And they'll have the ball just outside the 20. So what are some of the keys now for the Lancers?
Talking with Coach Watkins, he really wants to try to sustain drives to keep that really potent offense off the Tigers' offense off the field, and he emphasized to his kids they have to gang tackle because of how strong each of the running backs the Tigers have. So he really wants to do those 2 things. And again, right now, the third thing that I think he really would have to address is the special teams play.
Inside to Bermudez. Nowhere to go. Yard of that on the play. So things have definitely settled down.
That RPO in there, you'll see that they end up pulling the backside guard on that, number 67, trying to get something going in there. And again, Southern Columbia defense is very well prepared week in and week out. I don't think there's anything they haven't seen in the course of their playoff runs.
So the early adrenaline has settled down for both teams. The Tigers have relaxed and scored on their last 2 possessions. Santos on the little quick hitter to McElroy, and that was overthrown. Getting a hand on Nick Ziegler, almost had a chance to pick it off, but it was pretty high on the pass.
He has 4 interceptions this year, Ziegler does, and 1 for a touchdown. Again, great position. That ball is a little bit too high for number 25 to catch that. That would be Joakim McElroy.
4 straight incompletions for Santo on the defense side. This is the 4th possession in the first quarter for the Lancers. Now trailing by 8. Here comes the blitz. Intercepted right to the hands of Ian Yoder, and it's a Southern Columbia turnover.
Well, the intended target was number 8, Kyrie Isaac, but I don't think he looked back quick enough. And again, Yoder does a great job stepping in. You'll see Santos, great camera work right there. You saw his eyes. And again, just overthrew him, let him too much, and Yoder stepped right in on that one.
Ian's 4th interception on the year and sets Southern Columbia up inside Lancer territory at the 29-yard line.
One thing you don't ever want to give Southern Columbia is a short offensive field to work with.
Garcia hit a couple of times. He's still on his feet, still going the wrong way. They're going to actually mark it for a 2-yard loss.
And this is one of the keys that Coach Watkins wanted was gang tackling. And this is why Gavin Garcia's got great balance, great strength. And look at this. He's just keep it going. And again, now you see 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys around him.
Whitaker had him at the line of scrimmage, couldn't wrap him up. And then a host of white jerseys or in there for McDevitt. And they're crowding the line of scrimmage, as you might expect, Coach, right?
Oh, they definitely are. But you know what?
Here's the inside trap to Wislowski, a staple of the wing tee. He's up for a positive yardage of 5 yards. Go ahead.
No, with what I noticed last series with McDevitt, they had 10 guys in the box. Their deepest guy was 6 yards off or Southern Columbia did. So now McDevitt's trying to do the same thing, crowd that line of scrimmage.
Well, 1 quarter in the book. Things going their way now for Southern Columbia. They lead Mission McDevitt 14-6 after 1. We are back in Sealands Grove for the PIAA Class AA State Semifinals. Bishop McDevitt took the early 6-0 lead on their opening possession, but Southern Columbia has come running back, literally running back. They scored their last 2 possessions. So Southern has the ball as we start the second quarter on a 3rd down play. Try to sneak Barnes in there. He's going to be short of the first down by 2 yards.
They go with their lead play in here. That's the halfback now, lead blocking for the fullback. You saw that number 24 coming in, taking on the linebacker, allowing Barnes to squeak in there for a few yards.
Coach Roth calling the plays from the sidelines, brings it into his quarterback, Leon Claiborne. And it'll be a 4th down play coming now for Southern Columbia. Good defense by McDevitt. He's going to be short by a yard, trying to get Barnes in there again. I think KJ Henderson on the tackle. Great play by the senior. Look at it again. They tried to Garcia.
Give credit McDevitt on that one right there. That was 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in there that just at the point of attack just stuffed them. And it works just as good as a punt. Now, Southern Columbia's MO, let's make them go now. They've got 80 yards to work with.
5th possession of the game, Coach. But since that opening possession of the game, Bishop McDevitt does not have a first down. So credit the Southern Columbia defense.
They've settled down big time.
So this time they have the ball. They trail by 8. Try to sneak Bermudez in there, and he gets out. Good gain for about 5 yards, ripped down by Davis. So let's take a chance now here in the second quarter. Look at the Southern Columbia defense, brought to you by Hazelton Honda. Heim up front does a nice job all season long. He has 48 total tackles. Berlitz also with 45. The linebackers very active. We saw Kerstetter already and Garcia in the middle doing a nice job. The secondary, Yoder already has an interception. And Ziegler and Davis are the cornerbacks. Power football from McDevitt. It's going to be a figure law first down just past the 30-yard line.
Well, the defensive line, Coach Roth felt was going to be their strong point this year because of all the seniors they have. But right now, they just got pushed off the line because of how big McDevitt's offensive linemen are.
Garcia shoots in there for the tackle, number 23. So let's see now if this gets McDevitt going for Coach Watkins. 26-24 overall. Last year they were 7-7 on the season. The year before that, 8-4. But he really likes this team. Bunch of sophomores, very talented. But again, that school is closing down right now. Santo looking, has time, going over the middle. He's got it on the run. Emmanuel Sia hauls it in for a big gain into the 30-yard line. We have a flag, though, on the outside. This may be coming back. A flag down near the line of scrimmage.
Ineligible downfield.
Mistakes will hurt you all the time.
And again, that negates a huge swing in momentum right now. So, yep, you see him right there. 58 was down the field. He blocked, and then he chipped downfield to
Tyrese Whitaker, the sophomore. So that brings that 60-yard gain back. It's a 5-yard loss, and it sets it at just outside the 25. But the good news is Santo had plenty of time in the pocket.
He had too much time. Right now, I'm sure the defense coordinator for the Tigers is going, all right, maybe we should dial up some blitz, put some more pressure on this young man.
But then you're then you're going to have man-to-man coverage on the outside.
And they don't want that because they feel that they're a little bit too tall and too fast for what they're used to
They do
seeing.
send the blitz, coach, and they're going to send it down for Santo. Outrunning 3 guys was Corey Wright Downing. If that was a completed pass, he'd still be running.
Well, there's 3, and that was triple coverage right there that they have. Number 7, number 29, and number 10, they're all right there on them. So Coach Watkins talking it over right now, trying to make sure they dial up a good play. Again, what they have got to think about is not the home run right now. Just let's get another first down to live another series.
If you notice, the Southern is playing zone or man-to-man.
They've been playing more zone right now, trying to get that extra help over top. Rose is the outside linebacker, the corners there, so now they're going to be playing that cover 2 look. Another whistle.
I didn't count the penalties, but we have to be near 8 so far, I would think, for Bishop McDevitt. This goes against them.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
The McDevitt kids, I would say, it was interesting watching. The kids are putting their hands up like, what happened? And then the quarterback actually asked the head official, I didn't see the signal. And again, the back judge, who's behind the free safety, he puts his hand up at 5 seconds, so he didn't see it.
And the play clocks here are very relevant. You can see them.
Oh,
they're placed in great spots right off the hash marks. So, second down and very long. Santo back, has time, looking, and try to hit a little quick out to Sia. It falls short, so third down now upcoming.
Well, you'll see right here, again, 1,000, 1,000. He's got 3 seconds back there to get that ball off. And again, you see the double coverage there from the corner and then the free safety biting to help out.
His last 7 passes have gone 6 incomplete and an interception for Santo. 4-man rush for the Tigers. They're going to try a little quick hitter and try to get it, and they're going to get a flag as Kinsey was going across. Might have been taken down from behind. This may go against the Tigers.
Defensive pass interference. In black.
Defensive pass interference.
Let's see if we can see it. Right there, you see the right hand.
He just kind of like pushed on him a little bit too much with the separation. But again, it's not a spot foul. So now it's 3rd and 5. So that helps the Lancers out, making this more manageable, trying to get another first down.
So no automatic first down. It's good news for Tiger fans. Will Southern send the blitz? They will. Here comes the blitz. Santo gets it out of his arms quick to McElroy, and he's going to be up. Nice catch. It's a figure law first down to the 43.
That was a really nice hit by Nick Ziegler. You could see that they declared man coverage on this. And again, that's a great ball thrown right in there. Watch how he just tackles both arms and drives them into the ground.
They needed 5. They got 6. Let's see if that gets McDevitt into rhythm now on their offense. So it's a nice chess match we're seeing between the offense and the defense. Will the defense blitz? Do they stay back? Something to watch this afternoon as we're in the second quarter here in Selinsgrove. RPO to Bermudez, and there's nowhere to go. He loses a yard on the play.
One of the things that McDevitt's going to have to do a better job at right now is selling the run. And what I mean by that is you see Bermudez, there's nowhere to go. There's a ton of pressure. But the outside receivers, all they did was they took one step, and they're not acting like it's a pass. So now that's allowing the linebackers really to flow a lot faster and harder.
That was a 6-foot, 170-pound freshman, Garrett Garcia, who was on the tackle with Heim and with Toski on that. Here comes the blitz again. Off the hands of McElroy. Good play call. If he hauled it in, he'd be short of a first down. Ziegler on the coverage.
You'll see in there they just go with the quick corner route, the slant. And again, there was just nowhere to go. There was so much pressure coming in from that 4-4 defense the Tigers run. They like to send inside backers into the A gaps, take the tackles, go to the B gaps. That time, the linebackers actually looped to the B, and the tackles took the A gap responsibilities.
Can you draw that next time for me?
Well, we'll have to ask our producer Steve to get us a telestrator in here.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, another flag. Or a timeout.
Timeout white.
There we
Timeout
go.
White.
So timeout on the field. Exactly 8 minutes left in the half. It's the Tigers over the Lancers. We'll be right back. Nice crowd on hand from the Southern Columbia sidelines. Every other bench taking, about 1,000 people, and not sure if Santo knew the ball was coming. A lot of problems on that. The center, Rivera, hiked the ball, snapped the ball, and the quarterback barely knew it was coming.
Heads up on Santo to catch the ball. And again, you see the Southern Columbia was putting so much pressure. Again, he was outside the pocket, threw away smartly, didn't take the hit, and more importantly, didn't take a sack.
Again, the pressure you put on yourselves in this big game, and that's what one of the assistant coaches said to me. He said, "This is a big game." You know, but if you don't have that experience in the big games, you're seeing it play out with the mistakes that Bishop McDevitt is making on themselves.
And how cool, calm, and collected Southern Columbia is.
McElroy hits it out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Another short kick. They're going to mark it at the 24, so that's where the Tigers will come out. So the two coaches, we've talked about them. Mike Watkins on the left-hand side out of Bishop McDevitt, a 99 grad, and longtime coach Jim Roth, who today with a wink can tie George Curry for Pennsylvania's all-time winningest coach.
And again, I'm laughing because I'm thinking in my head, which is a scary place to be. Coach Roth and I have the only thing we have in common is I've been teaching 37 years. He's been coaching for 37 years. God bless him.
Oh, some movement. This will go against the Tigers as Garcia moved from the slot position. Oh, you know what we didn't mention today?
What's that?
Let's make the call first.
False start. Number 5. 5-yard penalty.
58 straight wins for Southern Columbia. Did we mention that?
No, we haven't. And that goes back to, I believe, 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And they lost in the finals, I believe, that year as well. So,
I mean, just to be able to go on any type of a run undefeated, but to go for 4 years without a loss, I mean, that's, again, tenement to how Coach Roth and the rest of the staff gets these kids ready to go.
out to Barnes in the flat. Give him 10 yards, maybe 11 on that. Second down on the way.
Again, here's what Coach Roth wants to do is try to bounce it up. Let's go with a quick screen to the outside. And he does right there, and he got that penalty back right now. Second and manageable.
Devon needs a turnover themselves. They came in 20 on the season. So they've lived off that. A lot of movement, a lot of pointing. Let's see what the referees say out of District 3. Johnny Pergine maybe went in there, number 44 for Bishop McDevitt. We haven't called his name, but he came in, one of the leading tacklers.
For the play, encroachment, defense.
And that will give a figure law first down to Southern Columbia. There you see Coach Watkins by himself behind the play, shaking his head. To Barnes, who gets to the outside. Puts his head down, knocks over a McDevitt player, has a figure law first down up to the 48.
Well, we knew that Barnes, how tough he is. As for a sophomore, he's really trying to make a statement saying, look now again, how he just, right in here,
He just dips that shoulder in. And what I really like is the ball security. He has his ball on the left arm. He's running to the left side. Again, all those small coaching points that you try to embed into these kids. And they do it, and that's why they're successful.
And good blocking on the outside by Jake Tozalewski, number 8. He's a sophomore himself. Inside. This is Garcia. Garcia breaks a tackle. He's going to be tough to catch. It's a Blaze Alexander Southern Columbia touchdown for Gavin Garcia. Give him 52 on the play.
Talk to Gavin Garcia. They go with their lead play in there, and he does a nice job. Look at this jump cut that he makes, and then the ball, again, how quick he is. We talk about burst and speed, and he just pulled away from number 4 there. There was nowhere for it. There's no way he was going to catch him.
Carter's PAT is up and through. No flags on the play.
There is now.
Oh, now there is after the play, but I think that was good. That was 3 straight touchdowns after trailing for Southern Columbia. Both teams walking off, so this may be assessed on the kickoff. We'll get a call from Bill McHale, our referee this afternoon, who's getting a lot of airtime.
Too much.
After the play, personal foul. Defense. After play, personal foul that way. They're going to offset.
Also pushing and shoving, probably. Let's take a look at this touchdown again.
They run with the lead. There's the halfback coming up inside, and then again allowing Garcia. Just again, he just hits. He's so strong, hits and spins, and he just breaks free. I mean, he knew he was going to pay dirt right there.
As we line up for the Lackawanna College kickoff, a lot of these Southern Columbia players are wrestlers. How much does that help?
They go hand in hand because the hand coordination and just the close contact of wrestling. I mean, you've got that I don't even know what the ring is. You know, I mean, there's the circle that the wrestlers have to go in.
Oh, okay.
There is nowhere for anybody to go, so you've got to be quick. That's that burst. And the strength these kids have, and then just the physical dexterity of being able to use your hands and use your body to create what you need for wrestling. It just goes hand in hand.
Right Downing, he's got room, and he's off, and a great tackle on the backside by Michael Yankowski, the junior, or he might have been off and running.
Imagine getting a nurse's aid scholarship and tuition assistance while getting paid as a CNA. Allied Services has excellent career opportunities for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs. Visit allied-services.org/careers today.
Another play, and unfortunately another Bishop McDevitt flag holding. And this will back them up to the 30-yard line to start this drive. So plenty of time, 7:17 left. They have 2 timeouts left. McDevitt just needs to get some momentum going and get something on their side, because right now, Big Mo's on Southern Columbia's side.
Oh, big time. I mean, what, 3 straight touchdowns. Yeah. They're not stopping the Southern Columbia offense, but they've been hurting themselves with these penalties. They had a great return. Now they got 70 yards to go.
Yep. Bermudez puts his head down, ridden down. Gain of 3 on the play.
All right, they just go with the RPO in there. Again, you see that the slot back, number 19, comes down to trap, and Bermudez does a nice job hauling in 5 yards on that. He's just a tough runner, and talking to him before the game, his favorite NFL player, number 34, Walter Payton.
Walter Payton.
Which really, I was surprised, because I'm like a young buck that knows Walter Payton. You know, so he was really excited to be in this situation, and he wants to help his team out as much as he can.
So Jake Davis comes off. Gavin Garcia now out to the cornerback slot. Garrett Garcia made the initial tackle on Bermudez on the last play. RPO. Get it out to Watson. Watson taken down by Garrett Garcia, but it's a figure law first down. 9-yard gain.
And again, that was number 19, that lead block just that played before for Bermudez. It's the same play, except now they're just slipping him out into the flat. He does a nice job, catches, secures the ball in the outside hand, and he gets that figure law first down.
Both teams black and gold, their colors this afternoon in the black helmets. McDevitt in the white uniforms, and Bermudez is hit. Nowhere to go. Good job up front.
Wow.
So the linebackers can shoot in. And how about number 87, Derek Berlitz, the junior?
Derek Berlitz just was like a rocket out of a cannon right there. He just comes in, reads that, just screams down that sideline. Again, Rose was in on that too to make that first initial contact. And again, that's what Southern Columbia does so well. They also just substituted their 2 interior linemen to try to get fresh legs in there.
Berlitz came in with 45 total tackles and 7 sacks on the year, and he's a 6'1 junior.
Bob, you keep mentioning the year that the Southern Columbia kids are. There are a lot of underclassmen playing in this game.
Little disconnect between quarterback and receiver as Sia went inside and Santo threw the ball on the outside.
The quarterback thought he was going for the what we call 9 pattern, which is going straight downfield. But Sia ended up running a post pattern, cutting it inside. That's where the ball went. There was no one around it.
Some more fresh legs in for Southern. So play call comes in. Play clock's not running. I'm not sure why. They just got it off in time. Pressure to Santo to McElroy, and boy, he's up for about 6. They're going to call it incomplete. He was juggling that. So here comes the punt team for the Lancers. Coverage by Rose again.
Again, we come in here, again, good pattern. They're doing the crossing patterns in here. Ball was a little bit behind, and again, great coverage by Rose. He broke that up by pulling on the right arm, so he could never really control that ball.
Rose is a 6'1 junior as well. Already with probably the best catch we've seen. There was 2 in the first half. We'll have to see the highlights later on, but 2 spectacular catches already in this first half, 1 by each team. Better kick by McElroy. Garcia from his 21. He gets to the outside. And Gavin Garcia is up. Nice return to the 49, but we have a flag back, Coach, at the 27. This may be coming back.
That would probably a block in the back, the inadvertent call that usually happens when the defender turns his back to the offensive player.
During the play, block in the back on the receiver's team. Get a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Number 18.
So Gavin does a nice job securing the ball. Great burst, taking off. And we
Might have just saw it, yeah.
Yep. It just really happened right after he started to turn.
Tim Wachowski got called on the play. This back Southern up inside their 20 to the 17. So the Tigers this year opened against Bloomsburg in a year where they only could play league games, which a lot of the leagues did this year, right?
Right. Yes, they did.
So they opened up with Bloomsburg, beat them 41-0, then took on Warrior Run, beat them 67-0. And then a very good Loyalsock team coming out. Wislowski hit up for a figure law first down, a late flag. This, we'll have to check this one out. It is a first down, then the late flag, and I think it's just a sideline warning. That's what the referee is saying. They want a late hit.
Well, again, here we go.
Sideline warning.
Got a
Southern
sideline
Columbia.
warning called against Southern.
Number 52 did a nice job. Jackson Purnell, the senior, one of the few seniors on the Southern Columbia team, did a nice job pulling from his right guard position.
They beat the Loyalsock Lancers. I'll continue with that thought, 50-20. And you kind of figured, hey, this Southern team's going to be pretty good this year. As Barnes bounces to the outside, and he is up for another figure law first down.
They just go with the outside. Look at how they all down block. More important, look at Garcia out there at number 5. Does a great job with the stalk block, moving his man off, allowing Barnes now to pick and choose where he wants to run.
Barnes against South Williamsport this year, just 6 carries, 122 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Just 6 carries.
Just 6 carries. And that was in the playoffs a couple weeks ago. Back to Barnes. Good job on the defensive side again by Bridgman, number 7. Slowing the Tigers down a bit.
Again, 53 you see pulling in there. They got that lead in there with number 3, Barnes this time. And again, Garcia just trying to grind it out in there. And you see then on that play, Samaj Bridgman does a nice job from his outside linebacker position to stop that for a short gain.
Quick pitch. This is Barnes. And shooting up is McElroy after a 2-yard gain.
Boy, I'll tell you what, McElroy, Bob, you said earlier, is a jack of all trades. Nice job. 53 does a great job pulling, getting out there, but look at that. He comes flying out from his safety position, comes up, and he just cuts him down for a real short gain.
McElroy, 5'9" senior. Real quick snap, quick pitch. Garcia rolls out, falls on the turf, and they say he was down. So he's inside Lancer territory. 15-yard gain, and the ball was down.
Yeah, number 50, KJ Henderson comes in from behind and just lays the wood on this hit. And you'll see that's what causes the ball to come out right there.
Well, I think Bishop McDevitt might. Too bad we don't have replay.
Yeah, that ball did come out from that hit.
A little bit.
From KJ Henderson.
Barnes weaving his way for about 3.
Brought down by Eric Gardner on that play from his defensive tackle position. He must have been looping on that one. Does a nice job. Again,
Dorsey there as well,
yep.
The senior.
And McElroy.
So Southern putting a drive together. It started at their own 17. Late here in the first half, they've scored 3 straight touchdowns. Play fake. Layman looking nowhere to go. He tucks it. Doesn't usually run a whole lot, but wisely comes up for about 2 yards. Don't throw the ball if you have no one open. You don't need a turnover.
Why force it? Again, let's give McDevitt's secondary a lot of credit here for doing that. There was nowhere for him to throw. He's looking, he's checking his reads, didn't like what he saw, and he just tucked it up, and smartly just gained a yard.
And as first-year starter, he probably had to learn that. He's thrown 5 interceptions, but coach probably said, look, don't throw it.
You don't need to.
There's the ball. That ball is a fumble, and I think McDevitt has it, and they do. First fumble of the game for the Tigers, and McDevitt has time, 1:39 left in the half.
They were going with that reverse play that the wing tee's known for, and it was just a miscommunication where the ball was handed off. And number 50 comes up with that. That was KJ Henderson again.
So a break for them. Their 21st turnover on the season for McDevitt. They had 20 coming in. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. They have 2 timeouts left. Play action over the middle, and it's overthrown. Wright Downing had a step on his defender if the pass was right on target.
Well, Downing has done that. His speed against Rose on this one. Rose is a little bit mismatched with the speed, but Rose has got the size on him. And you can see when they start the motion that Southern is declaring man coverage because of the men going with the man in motion.
Santo against Dunmore this year, 10 of 14, 221 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Bucks. That was the first week of the playoffs. Here comes the blitz from Southern. Straight hit, and the ball is down. Who gets it? Kerstetter came shooting in there. Santo dropped it, and Whitaker recovered.
46, no one picked him up. Watch that. That's a great look how he has his arms around the quarterback's arms. Santo does a nice job trying to swat the ball. Yep, and right there, number 58 is the one that gets the recovery for the Lancers.
1:17 left, timeout on the field. A loss all the way back to the 17-yard line, it looks like. It's almost an 18-yard loss, but boy, if you're Kerstetter, as we take a look at the Keystone College timeout, and you're going in there, your eyes got to be huge, right?
No one blocked you. First off, you know you're anticipating that. You start that great blitz move, and when there's no one picks you up, and then you're that free on the quarterback. Wow.
Well, the Archdiocese of Philadelphia started this season at the Catholic League, started late, so just 3 regular season games for McDevitt, and again, just happy to play any football. At
Big
this
time.
point, the way this season's gone, we don't need to talk about it. Everybody knows what's out there. And they're putting a nice season together, one of their best ever. And then they get the news this week that they're going to shut the school down.
The diocese said, yep, we're going to be combining. So
Inside handoff. McCree Lilly shoots up. About a 6-yard gain. So here comes the punt team, and then Southern's going to call a timeout.
that's just a little RPO action in there. They gained some of the yardage back that they lost on that fumble. And now they set up, hopefully, with this timeout that Coach Roth called for the Tigers, that'll give the Lancers, make sure they have 11. We don't want to, and hopefully get a better punt off so that way the Tigers have a lot more field to churn out.
But McElroy, it's a Keystone College timeout, has not punted the ball well today.
No, he has not. His toe has actually been up, and that's why he's getting that high, short kick. If he opens a foot up and points his toe and places it better, he's going to get a longer punt.
And Southern's not thinking, hey, we're just going to get the ball back and we're going to throw down the field. That's not their game plan. But they could break a big one any second.
Well, when we saw that with Barnes, and we've definitely seen that with Garcia with the way he can shake and bake out there. So, 104 with 2 timeouts left is a lot of time for Southern Columbia to do something.
They're putting the rush on. A nice high kick from McElroy this time. But Garcia, he took it from his 44. He's inside Lancer territory, but there's a flag in on the play. So this crew out of District 3 getting their work in today. This will set the Tigers back a bit, but still have real good field position. They'll go back into their own territory. And they'll place the ball at the 47. So 53 yards to go, 50 seconds left, and a timeout left for Southern Columbia is what we have so far here. On a warm November day.
A beautiful November day here in Snyder County.
7th possession of the half for Southern Columbia. Barnes fumbles it and he gets it back.
Well, we saw Southern Columbia come out in an unusual formation for them. They went to an even set. They had 2 tight slots and 2 split ends, and they just go with the quick out to one of the slot backs. Barnes, and again, nice job by McDevitt there.
Claybon just going to air it up and try to hit Rose. Fingertip catch, and it's incomplete. And the 6'1" receiver used all of it to get this ball in.
Again, Coach Roth is showing, yeah, we can throw. And again, Rose, nice job, good concentration, good fingertips, but his feet were out of bounds.
So an opportunity now for McDevitt, if they want, with 18 seconds left. Southern Columbia will get the ball to begin the second half. Probably run this one out. Nope, the Claybon's going to step and just throw another one. Other side, same play. Trying to hit Davis, goes incomplete. And fourth down now with 13 seconds left.
When was the last time we saw Southern Columbia throw 3 passes in a row?
Well, he said he wanted to be balanced, and he almost kind of forced it to be balanced on that last possession.
And again, I think he wants, Coach Roth, is going to be trying to do some things with the passing game to show possibly, if they make it next week down to Hershey, that they can throw the ball also.
High snap for Carter. Lucky to get that away, and it's a high kick. Oh, takes a McDevitt bounce and is going to be downed by Barnes just outside the 45. So a couple seconds left. If Santo wants to come in and throw it up, they have 2 timeouts left. But it says 6 on the clock.
With 6.2 on the clock, there's really, and again, state semifinal game, yeah, they're probably, I would imagine, going to go air it out a little bit.
No, they're going to be in the kind of victory formation. They're going to run this one out. They're going to knee it down. So McDevitt takes a knee, and that's how we'll end the half. The Lancers took the early lead, and people thinking, hey, might be a game. Hold on a minute. This is Southern Columbia, and they scored 3 straight touchdowns. They lead at the half, 21-6. Coming up in the Toyota Halftime Report, we'll hear from our friends at Allied Services, and Coach and I will be back with some halftime stats.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
It's halftime here at Friday Night Rivals, and we have stopped by Allied Services to talk to CEO and President Bill Conaboy. Bill, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Hannah.
Now, Allied Services, you guys are a big name in the community. You're one of the top employers in this area. Can you explain to some of our viewers who might not know, what is Allied Services?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. Allied Services is a regional post-acute healthcare system. We do business in about 25 counties here in Northeast and Central Pennsylvania. We have 2 inpatient rehab hospitals. We have several skilled nursing facilities, personal care homes. We do home health, we do in-home, we do hospice, we do mental health, behavioral health, we have a vocational training center, etc. We do everything that's in the post-acute care arena of healthcare.
Now, some of your employees have worked here 30, 40, almost 50 years. What would you say makes Allied Services a great place to work?
Yes, we have, as you said earlier, we are one of the largest employers here in the region. We have just about 4,000 employees. And I'm here myself almost 30 years, and I'm still considered a new guy. So I'd like to think that it's the atmosphere, the collegiality that we have here at Allied Services. People genuinely care about each other. They've watched each other's children grow up. They've experienced good times and bad times, but they stick together, they care for each other, and most importantly, they respect each other and those we care for.
Now, elephant in the room, coronavirus. It's thrown a wrench into everybody's day-to-day life, a lot of jobs. What is Allied Services doing to kind of get over those hurdles of the pandemic?
Yes, we've been in the thick of it, again, particularly in post-acute care. People come to us from acute care hospitals. And of course, this has been part of the problem with the spread of COVID-19. So we've been in the thick of it. We've had many, many cases. And we've been at the front line with PPE, personal protective equipment for our employees, screening, etc., separating people, and we've done a lot. We're very proud of the work that we've done. We've brought many people from the beginning through successfully coming out of COVID-19. So we're in the thick of it. The storm is kind of quiet right now. We're hoping there's not a resurgence in our area, but we're very proud of the work we've done.
So whether it is injury or an illness, Allied Services is always helping people get back on their feet, and we want to thank you guys for what you've done in the community.
Thank you. We're honored to do the work we do in our community.
Thank you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I am joined by Erin Pilch. She is the Assistant Director of Nursing for Allied's Inpatient Rehab. Erin, thank you for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
So, Erin, can you explain to us how important nurses are at a place like Allied Services?
Oh, nurses are key for 24/7 care of the patient, from medication passes to treatments, to make sure that the patient benefits from the therapy that they're needed to receive.
So if somebody has a healthcare background, how could they get a job at Allied, and how would you guys prepare them for that?
Anybody thinking about getting into the medical profession can come in to be a nurse's aide, start off right at the basics. That is, they can get a feel for what it is to be in the medical profession. They can see a lot that goes on, and also nurses, LPNs, RNs. We are looking for anybody in the medical profession that's interested and wants to keep and be an intricate part of the medical profession. There's a lot of experience to be had.
So coronavirus has, caused a lot of changes for a lot of jobs. What have you guys done to kind of get over those hurdles?
From day one, Allied has been very key in making sure the patients and the employees are safe. Everything, masks, face shields, gowns, gloves, we have everything to keep the patient and the employees safe. We started from day one also when it was mandated to do the screening coming into the facility and leaving the facility. So we are prepared.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the work that you do for Allied Services.
Thank you.
We are back in Selinsgrove at Harold L. Bullock Memorial Field, the home of the Seals, but today we're hosting the PIAA Class AA State Semifinals, and Southern Columbia is leading Bishop McDevitt 21-6. We come into one of the biggest booths we had all year, except for Scranton Memorial Stadium. A beautiful facility here at Selinsgrove. Bob Ide and Jan Sechak. And, well, early on, Bishop McDevitt opened the game with a nice kickoff return. They score, and that kind of woke the Tigers up, and now they lead 21-6.
I think angrily woken the Tigers up on that. McDevitt came out, Bob, as you said. Really, they really looked like they were going to set this game into their advantage, and the Tigers just took it right back from them.
Well, they kind of shot themselves in the foot. A lot of penalties.
Too many
penalties in this half. Too many mistakes from the Lancers, and you can't do that against a team like the Tigers.
No, with the experience they have, that's why they're cool, calm, and collected. They said, okay, this is how the game's going to go, and they just went back to work with that blue-collar mentality.
So total yards, of course, in the advantage of Southern Columbia. Just 61 total yards for Bishop McDevitt.
And McDevitt, I mean, what's devastating for them right now is -6 yards rushing. So they're really leaning on the pass game. And Southern, though they've given up some passes, are really starting to tighten up their belts on that.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Jan's going to take us through.
You'll see right here, this is after the kickoff return. Great bounce off the helmet, one-handed catch, secures it in. And now we'll see the touchdown pass on the quick slant to number 24. Just reels that in for the touchdown. Lancers are up 6-0. But the Tigers come right back to work, and who do they go to? Gavin Garcia. You'll see him. But what I talk about burst, I talk about speed, and he just breaks away right there. Gavin Garcia is on track. He has over 125 yards this game. Watch this pass by Rose. This reception, I should say. One-handed. Oh, man, that was just tremendous. Full house backfield. Wisloski comes back with the touchdown. Good surge by the Tigers in there. He picks his way in for the touchdown. Now they come back. Now watch this hit. That's textbook. And, again, that's coaching clinic stuff right there.
That was Nick Ziegler.
And again, now Garcia picks his way, stops, bobs, and weaves, and goes all the way in for another Southern Columbia touchdown. 52 yards on that one.
Nice crowd from Southern Columbia. And then another big hit
again,
on
that
the
was
defensive side.
and that gave them one of their first downs. A miscue by the Tigers right there. They get the ball back with less than a minute to go in the game, or excuse me, in the first half. And look at this hit. Great job. He comes flying in there, and he causes a fumble. And again, they just self-destruct on this. They can't deal with that type of pressure.
Kerstetter, who made the tackle right there, wasn't a sack. They do have an interception in the half, does Southern Columbia. So, Southern's on the field, ready to go, awaiting Bishop McDevitt. The Tigers on their way to another state final appearance. We're back getting set for the second half here in Sealands Grove. Both teams on the field. Southern Columbia scored on 3 possessions in that first half, and they lead this one 21-6, looking for what could be a 4th straight state championship next week if they hang on today. Well, we know who they're going to play, Coach, out of District 10. They're going to play Wilmington, 12-0 on the season for the Greyhounds. That's who Southern Columbia will take. And again, already with 18 appearances in the finals between A and AA, 10 state championships. Let me repeat that. 10 state championships.
That's wow.
And there you see the years.
It's hard to fathom that.
And there you see the years, and some some teams that had some great talent, like last year, and some teams that had talent, but they all came together and played as a team, and that's what really the MO for Jim Roth teams are.
And especially this year, talking with one of their assistant coaches before the game, he said that these kids are playing for Coach Roth this year. Mm-hmm. They are just playing so hard, and as a team, they're really hard to beat, let alone when these kids get inspired to do something that they get set in their mind like they are for Coach Roth, trying to make him the all-time winningest coach in Pennsylvania history.
Well, he can tie George Curry today with 455 and have a chance next week. And let's remind people what happened last year in that state final game. They beat Avonworth 74-7. It was a clinic down there. I mean, you're talking about 4 Division I guys, Julian Fleming, and the attack that they have with Garcia. I mean, it was, they didn't run up the score. They let some of the guys play in the second half, but that's what they do.
That's what they do, and it was, I don't want to say it was unfair, because their opponent last year was a very talented team, very good team. But when you come in and you have 4 Division I players on one team, you can't just key one person. And that's what their downfall was last year. And Coach Roth, I mean, he's just so cool, calm, and collected even on the sidelines. Before the game, he just was like, he said, Coach, I have to worry about this game. I can't think about the future. I can't think about anything else except the task at hand. And that's what keeps him so grounded and so successful.
Absolutely. So Southern will get the second half kick. Let's talk about keys for Bishop McDevitt. I mean, they're just down 15 points, so it's not overwhelming. But what do they have to do to get back into it for Coach Watkins?
Stop the penalties. They're stopping themselves right now, and you can't do that with the Southern Columbia team and give them short field position, the bad punts. All those things are fixable, and I'm sure that Coach Watkins and his staff addressed that at halftime.
They really did. That between penalties, too many men on the field, unsportsmanlike. I mean, it seemed like there was a flag every other play in that half, and it wasn't all just against Bishop McDevitt, but a majority were.
I would say probably 80-20 was in McDevitt's favor, unfortunately. But the way Southern Columbia is, they are expected to win. They will keep their composure. They're just going to play tough, smash mouth Southern Columbia Tiger football.
Another District 14 playing this afternoon. Danville's losing to Wyomissing, who we saw last week, 37-7. That Wyomissing team is a very talented, hard-hitting team, and it's a great season for the Ironmen, but that may be coming to a close.
They look, and again, Wyomissing looked like a small Division III school.
They did. So McElroy with the Lackawanna College kickoff to Yoder. Yoder puts his head down. He's up, holds on to the ball, and Southern will have their possession here in the second half around the 40-yard line.
Again, you see him. He just does a nice job. They get a nice little wall of black jerseys up there. He picked a hole. And, again, good coverage by McDevitt on that.
So I'm sure they'll go back to the ground game. in the first half. They had some real good series on the ground game. How many total yards on the ground, Coach?
226. And Gavin Garcia had 136 of those yards.
Back to Barnes. Barnes almost had the ball, loses the ball, but twists and turns and muscles his way, literally, for a figure law first down, up to the 49, a gain of 11 for number 3.
The way that Barnes, watch how when he makes contact, he doesn't stop his legs. He keeps the legs pumping, 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 pumping. And again, he just twists in there. When he feels that second hit come in, he twists away into it.
Kelvin Zumi had his ankles. That was the only way you could take Barnes down on that play. The sophomore with a nice run. Claiborne looking to throw. A little short to Barnes. Gavin Garcia, excuse me, on the intended receiver.
Garcia is, coming out of the backfield. They're trying to throw a short pass, which works. It's very low risk on those type of plays. And he actually beat number 7, Samaj Bridgman, and Samaj did a nice job breaking that down, closing the gap.
Play clock must not be working today. Stuck at 20, hasn't been rolling. Few of the, late in that first half, so they're keeping it on the field. On the end around, this is Wisloski. He breaks the tackle. He has a figure law first down, still at his feet. Hit from behind, holds on to the ball, and is going to be taken down for an 8-yard gain.
Well, you see why they give him the ball. He's just got great moves. He's elusive. He runs with his eyes. He's trying to pick his spots. And you can see right there, he puts the brakes on, jump cuts back inside. And again, just way Southern Columbia, they just do what they do best. And that's, they're going to run the ball down your throat. They're going to control the clock this way to grind it out.
This is a team that starts only 4 seniors on the offensive side of the ball for the Tigers.
For the play. Ball start. Here.
Procedure against Southern
You're right.
Columbia.
William McHale,
Right
the
guard, right
referee
tackle,
this
right guard.
afternoon.
Move.
A rare penalty on Southern Columbia. Coach Roth has those bread and butter plays, knows that they work, and then how much is experimentation at this point?
He's not going to do too much experimenting. He's going to just end up, I think his experimentation today, Bob, was to try to establish a type of a passing game. He knows what works in this wing tee. He's got great athletes.
Barnes still breaking tackles, up for 11.
He just got back a huge hunk from that penalty. Again, they set it up with Gavin Garcia coming in motion, just like they did the play before, and they hand off to the fullback going up inside for 11 yards.
Well, Claiborne did have one of those type of games. He was 3 for 4 against Line Mountain for 100 yards and a touchdown. So he can throw. He just hasn't been able to connect with it much this afternoon. Up quickly they come, and they bounce off, and like a pinball, Gavin Garcia goes in for a Blaze Alexander touchdown, 34 yards.
Wow.
Late flag on the play. Real late from the referee.
And just like that, with Gavin Garcia back there, you blink and he's gone.
Personal foul. Did it come after the touchdown or during? No signal for a touchdown. It is a touchdown, so it came after the play. So it goes against the Tigers, but the touchdown counts.
And you'll see right here, they go with the lead in there with, again, Barnes doing the lead blocking, and everybody converged, and Garcia as I talked to him earlier in the game, the one thing I noticed last week against Richland was if he hits that where the contact is and he bounces so quickly to the outside, 34 yards later he's in the end zone.
That puts him well over the 200-yard mark on the game. Came in with just over 1,400 yards on the ground this season. So Carter lines up for the extra point. Southern opens the second half with a nice 60-yard drive on 5 plays. High snap, it's down, and the kick is up and good. So Southern extends their lead, 9:38 left in the third quarter, and we'll be right back here on MyTV, WQMY. We're back in Selinsgrove. Tigers now lead the Lancers by 22. Headed to the maybe state finals again. There was a penalty on the scoring play, so that backs up the kick to the 25. So Bishop McDevitt will get good field position.
And they've had
off this Lackawanna College kickoff.
And they've shown that they can return the ball.
That they can, and especially this guy right here, Corey Wright Downing, who opened the game with a nice run, and he shoots through. He's breaking tackles, and they'll be up to the 49-yard line for the Lancers, who are coming back on the field.
For more than a century, Lackawanna College has been changing lives. Now you can earn your bachelor's degree from a respected school close to home with the most affordable tuition in the region. Apply today at lackawanna.edu.
So aside from that opening drive and the opening kickoff, Bishop McDevitt his offense has been relegated to very little yardage.
Very sporadic. And again, credit the Southern Columbia defense, just really closing the door on them.
Trying to get anything going. Downing hit. Heim on the tackle. No gain on the play.
And you saw first contact was by number 7, Ian Yoder on this. Again, they're trying to go with that speed sweep to the outside. And all the black jerseys just staying in their lanes, converging. And again, Ian Yoder forcing the running back to go back inside where he had 3 or 4 more Southern Columbia Tiger defenders there to stop him.
Santo back, rolling, throws it up, and it goes incomplete. Trying to McElroy over there. Ziegler on the coverage, and Santo was chased that time.
Again, he's got time to throw the ball. He comes out of the pocket, little bit of pressure put on, then he comes back for the ball, McElroy, but he just couldn't connect on that.
So 3rd and long now, facing this Lancer team. It was an uphill battle trying to get by Southern Columbia.
And unfortunately, this has been their MO that they've had this whole game. They get into 3rd and long situations, and they have not converted.
Here comes the blitz, Kerstetter. Let's see, they're going to say it's they do. It's intercepted by Davis off the ground with his fingertips. They call it an interception.
Number 10, Jake Davis, 5'11", 170-pound senior. One of the few seniors on the defensive side of the ball. Great concentration, great layout, puts those fingertips and puts the ball up so it never touches the ground.
Second pickoff of the day for the Tigers. 5th for Davis on the senior. He's a senior. Braden Wisloski, sophomore, up for about 4. McElroy on the tackle.
How smooth Wisloski is on this. If you notice how the way Coach Roth runs this wing tee, the wing back is just taking his time. There's no sense of urgency. It's not like the speed option. And again, what that does is that sets up mesh points for the fullback then after he hands off to the halfback coming across like that.
Offense averages 42 points per game. And we said coming in, 416 total yards per game. They're up near there again. Garcia in motion to give it to Barnes. He pops through for a couple, short of the first down.
So again, they're going to try to set this up. Whether do they give the ball to Garcia or don't they? And that's the guessing game that the defense has right now. So Garcia's coming with the motion, and again, they just hit up inside with Barnes, getting, he got real tough yards in there to make it 3rd and 1.
Sophomore Samaj Bridgman on the tackle. Up quickly come the Tigers. And movement. This may go against Southern. They left a little bit quick.
That was Colin Sharrow from his tight end spot.
4th play, ball start, offense.
Ball start against Southern Columbia.
So an advantage now for the Lancers. If they can stop Southern. The Tigers have punted once in this game.
And the snap was a little high.
No, I take that back, twice.
Twice? And again, when the team's not used to punting, again, I know Coach Roth and the staff, they emphasize special teams 1/3 of the game, but they're not used to punting.
Claiborne looking, doesn't have anything, but he has room to run. He gets to the edge. Hit out of bounds. He's up for a figure law first down for Liam Claiborne. Nailed out of bounds by Jaleel Davis Shabazz.
No, they're saying
No,
he's
say
short.
short. Well, it's right at the line. Coach Roth wondering what's going on.
Oh, it wasn't for, okay.
Yeah, from our angle, we're right in front of it. From our vantage point, it is a first down. Chains are set. Claiborne looking. He's going to go out to the outside. He's got a receiver. What a catch, and an even better move by Wisloski. Is that Wisloski?
Yes, it was.
Yep. Number 24 for Blaze Alexander. Touchdown for Southern Columbia. And we have a flag down, though, at the 8. Here we go, Coach. Let's watch the catch and the move.
Well, again, the ball's not well thrown, but look at that. He secures it. He kneels down, not kneels down, just bent over it, and the defender went
foul,
over.
defense. Touchdown's good.
So it's a touchdown for Southern Columbia. 7:15 left in the 3rd. You saw the penalty. He's going to go against McDevitt after the play again.
All the skill kids that the Tigers have are all underclassmen. So we just saw Braden Wisloski now, a sophomore, do some special things out there. We know what Gavin Garcia does. Wes Barnes has contributed, another sophomore. Junior quarterback Liam Claiborne is going to just keep getting better and better at this passing.
Yeah, Carter's PAT is up and through, and the Southern Columbia Tigers now on their way to a trip to Hershey one more time. They extend their lead now 35-6, and I was more impressed with the move than I was the catch. I mean, it's a nice, typical catch, but a nice move by Wisloski.
He did. Again, when he caught it, he saw the defender, and he just ducked. He turned his shoulders over the ball, and the defender went over.
His 3rd touchdown on the year. Speaking of Hershey, how about the Southern Columbia? We'll look at this TD again, and then we'll talk about the girls soccer team.
And again, you see nice coverage. He breaks away from the secondary right in there, and again, tuck that ball away. You know Coach Roth is going to be getting on there. Right there was the block in the back.
Yep.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
So, Bob, you were saying about Hershey.
Well, they'll kick it from the 45. Will Isaac Carter, Lackawanna College kickoff. We'll do it after the kickoff. Carter with the boot into the end zone. And Bishop McDevitt will down it automatically. Congratulations to the girls soccer team. I was going to say they won a state title. Their second out of 3 years for the girls soccer team. And we've talked about this. What's remarkable is they were 9-9, the 8th seed in District 4, and they came out and they ran the tables.
And that's what you want to do. I mean, and hats off to the girls soccer team at Southern Columbia, the coaching staff. And again, it's amazing how you have one team that is always successful, how that breeds success into the other programs. They have a very strong track program down there at SCA. I mean, the kids want to be part of it. They want to be successful.
And just down the road today, the Bloomsburg girls soccer team won a state title. So Bermudez shoots through. Excuse me. That's not Bermudez.
That's Lily.
Lily, yep.
Akir Lily, 5'9", 180 pounds. He moved really well in there. That's a nice job.
He goes up for about 9.
Brought down by number 29. You saw that he was also trying to strip that as he was making that tackle. That was Jake Rose.
Ball still loose. Southern has it. Another turnover for McDevitt and another recovery for Southern Columbia.
That was Brandon Gedman.
Yep.
Again, bad snap right from the get start, and again he just couldn't hold on to it. It is drizzling out there, so the the field's a little slippery. And again, now one thing you don't want to do is give Southern Columbia 21 yards in the end zone right there.
So the Tigers offense back on at the 21. Barnes shoots up inside the 15. 7-yard play for Wes Barnes.
Again, they just go with that dive inside there. And again, Barnes is picking and choosing. Great block out there by his tight end, though. That was a nice job there by number 24, or excuse me, number 36, Colin Sharrow.
We knew the Lancers had to come in and play a perfect game, or close to it, and they couldn't meet that goal.
With all the mental mistakes they were making on personnel, that's hard to overcome.
Wozlowski loses the ball, and Bishop McDevitt recovers. That looks like Samaj Brigman. Johnny Pershing, 44, also on the hit. Let's see the replay.
They come with that counter play in there. Yep, number 33 is the one that actually punched that out.
Shabazz, we called his name before.
Jaleel Davis Shabazz does a nice job stepping up, punch that ball out, and McDevitt avoids allowing them to convert on the turnover. Now let's see what McDevitt can do on this drive.
We're in the third quarter of this Class AA state semifinal. Winner takes on Wilmington next week in Hershey. Here comes the blitz. They get it out quickly. They get it out to Lilly, and there's really no room to run as Southern is quickly on that by Kerstetter.
That's a loss of 1 yard on that play. Again, they go with the quick out. You see number 6 coming right off the edge there, and nobody picked him up, and that's because the running back was out there in the flat. And look at how they just converge. Number 44 does a great job for Southern Columbia.
46.
Oh, 46.
Their jerseys are riding up. Yep.
Kerstetter, I apologize. He's been all over the field defensively today.
Here comes the blitz up the middle. They roll Santo out. Nice comeback by McElroy to make the catch. So 3rd and short coming up. Manageable for Bishop McDevitt.
Again, McElroy does a nice job coming back in. The ball's on the inside shoulder. He pulls this one in. A great ball thrown by Santo. And a good look at how, again, tackling was what Coach Roth really wanted to make sure they did a nice job with, and they did today. Number 20, Nick Ziegler on that.
If you're the Lancers, you need to complete a 3rd down conversion to stay on the field. Here comes the blitz. They get it out quickly, and they get it to McElroy, and he is up for a figure law first down. Gain of 5.
You'll see him come right into your screen there. He was the split end. He came in, what they call that slant and go, the sluggo. He was doing the slant from the outside.
4 wide outs for Santo, another blitz. They're going to throw it up, and the receivers got confused. One was supposed to go in, one was supposed to go out, and they collided. It goes incomplete.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of frustration starting to set in when you have 2 receivers literally bump into each other. There's obviously miscommunication, but the frustration level is really starting to set in. Santo was under some pressure that time, and again, he just overthrew it because there was no one in a white jersey near it.
Santo under pressure. Hit on the throw by Garcia. And Garcia, the shot in there. Nothing Santo could do about it.
They bring pressure from the outside and the inside. And again, Garcia, you cannot call that kid's name enough because he's all over the field.
That's Gavin Garcia, too. Garrett is also having a heck of a game as well, the freshman linebacker. Yards hard to come by this afternoon for this Lancer team. Need to convert this, another 3rd down. Tipped. Almost picked off by Kerstetter as Santo threw it out there.
Number 46 does a great job dropping to his hook to curl zone, puts his hands up, so it makes it very difficult for that ball to get anywhere. He knows it. He's like, come on, come on.
So McElroy into punt. Gotten better throughout the day. Garcia had room. He slipped down. He did make the catch, though, at his own 46-yard line.
Blaze Alexander Family Dealership celebrating 40 years of serving the community and the home of the $1,000 lowest price guarantee.
Tigers scored on their last possession. The opening one, I should say 2 possessions ago. They fumbled away their last possession. Right back to Wazlowski. Wazlowski up through another figure law first down into McDevitt territory. Give him 11.
You'll see he goes a deep motion on this, and that allows him a little bit more time to pick where he wants to go, and more importantly, it allows his tight end and the wing back on that side to really do a good job and seal that outside line of scrimmage for him to gain those 11 yards.
This defense is getting tired for Bishop McDevitt. A lot of guys with their hands on their hips.
It's been a long afternoon for him, especially if you're a defensive player for the Lancers. They've been on the field way too much.
Inside to Garcia. Almost had an opportunity. Gain of 8. Dorsey on the tackle for McDevitt, number 6.
Gavin Garcia, I talk about the speed. Watching him live, it's actually faster than it is on the TV right now. It's just amazing to see how fast he is.
Just a junior. This time, as the motion started, Bergine jumped.
For the play, encroachment defense, 5-yard penalty.
So on the penalty is a figure law first down. They'll move the chains. Number 44 for Bishop McDevitt coming in at 11 tackles for a loss. And talking to Coach before the game, said, you're going to call his name a lot. We haven't.
We really haven't.
And it's credit to the way they run the ball for the Tigers.
Well, McDevitt is, trying to stop the wing T is tough enough, but when you have a team like Southern Columbia that has 3 great backs plus your quarterback, makes it even tougher. There's some certain telltale signs with the wing T, like you could say follow the guard, they'll take it to the play. Cross key with your outside linebackers, that'll help, but when you have these type of caliber running backs back there, it makes it even that much tougher.
Garcia with a move. Flag down. Looks like a face mask. He's up for a figure law first down. Taken down at the 17 and add on the face mask call forthcoming. That puts the Tigers inside the Allied Services red zone one more time this afternoon to the 13.
Again, they go with the lead in here, and watch how he just pops it, stops and pops and goes. It's just really a pleasure to watch this young man run the ball, and the scary part is we get to see him again next year.
And next week at Hershey. I will be there.
You'll be there. I'll be watching on the local affiliate.
PCN will have the game as Barnes gets hit out of bounds at the 5. So between Barnes, Wozlowski, and Garcia.
And number 52 does a nice job with the pull on there for the Southern Columbia. He's really done a nice job all day. That's Jackson Purnell up there. One of the few senior offensive linemen playing for the Tigers. They only have 2 on the offensive line.
From the 5 now. Barnes stood up.
Nice job gang tackling by McDevitt there.
Jameel Lyons, number 12, makes the tackle. Up to the 4 as we wind down the third quarter, coming up on the minute mark. 2 scores in this quarter, both by touchdowns by the Tigers. Garcia is in. A Blaze Alexander touchdown for Southern Columbia and Gavin Garcia. And they complete the drive of 54 yards.
Garcia again, they just go with that lead play up inside. They don't do much, but what they do exceptionally well.
Carter's extra point is up and through, and now the lead is 36 points.
And here's that touchdown right in there. You see, just comes inside. The confusion the wing T does, you have one guy going right, one guy going left, and that's what the defense does. And when you have a running back like Garcia in there, watch out. I think the girls' soccer team may have just arrived.
Is that who it is?
I'm at a loss. I don't know.
I was assuming that too, but I'm not going to assume anything. We have a lot of characters here. Let's just put it that way.
Characters. Buddy the Elf. We have a couple minions out there.
Yep, got some of the band members down there. So Lackawanna College kickoff is taken at the 7. Looks like McElroy is smacked. Garrett Garcia laid the wood out on McElroy.
You'll see he just comes in and slams the door right there. Wow.
No, that was not Garcia. That was number 25, Coach. Let's make sure.
Gedman.
Gedman with a big hit. Apologize for that. So this puts the offense for Bishop McDevitt back on the field. And nowhere to go for Lilly. That might have been Garrett Garcia there, so maybe I was anticipating a play. Burlitz also as well. That will take us down to the end of the third quarter. It looks like a 19th appearance for Southern Columbia and Hershey in the state championships as well on the way. One more quarter before we can throw the Hershey Kisses onto the field. Back in Sealands Grove, it is not Halloween, I don't think. It was about a month ago or so. But a bunch of the student body for Southern Columbia enjoying this afternoon's festivities. The drum corps is down there for Southern Columbia's band. And they're dancing and having fun with their masks on. So back out here on the field, as we take a look at whatever they're doing. We had an incomplete pass. It's been all Southern Columbia since that opening drive of the game. Bishop McDevitt took the opening kickoff. If you're just joining us, had good field position. They converted. They led 6-0, and it's been all Southern Columbia since, putting up 42 straight unanswered.
Not that that would be unexpected for a Southern Columbia team that has averaged this year, I believe, 53 points a game. So, yeah, they're on pace to do that again. Or, excuse me, 42 points per game.
Trying to hit Davis downfield. Davis is on the coverage, excuse me. Trying to hit number 11 downfield. Kinsey was McDevitt, and it's fourth down, and the punt team is back out.
Well, we knew McElroy does a little bit of everything, and he's got to be getting tired from doing the punting. And we saw earlier in the first quarter that they did that Australian rule style type of kick, maybe for a conversion, for a fake, but I don't think they're going to try anything right now this deep in their side of the 50.
And Bishop McDevitt, I think, is going to call timeout. They don't have enough players on the field. So we're going to stay right here, 10:25. It's a Keystone College timeout for the Lancers just to get a player on the field. So Southern will take on Wilmington next week in the finals. And the PIAA, once they see how many teams are in it, who's in it, they will then let the teams know, let everybody know what time. The times are going to change depending on travel. They don't want teams staying overnight in Hershey, so they're going to try to figure out who's the furthest and who's the closest. So here's what Southern's run looks like this year. A lot of 50s in there. Mount Carmel had some COVID setbacks. They weren't able to take on the Red Tornadoes this year. And a lot of big wins. There's nothing more you can say.
It is. And again, last week with Richland, Coach Roth said that he knew that they were a good team and they were physically outsized by their receivers. And you saw that they put up 30 points on Southern.
McElroy ran around, thought about punting it. It goes off the hands of Garcia. It's still loose, and I think Gavin has it. It will remain Southern Columbia ball, but holding your breath on that a little bit.
Sure was, and again, that punt that he set up there, Gavin, he'll learn better from that, and the coaches will tell him to get away from it.
Well, McElroy faked, tried to see if he had any running room, and then did the Australian.
Yeah, he went to his left and came
kick.
back up inside.
So some of the backups coming in, and that's time of the game, fourth quarter. And we'll see some new names out there for Southern Columbia, up 36 now. And the clock should keep rolling in this fourth quarter. from their own 24. Inside to Trevor Yorks. The junior carries it up for about 3.
So this is why Southern Columbia is so successful. You'll see that they're just going to be plugging in the underclassmen now, doing the same offensive plays that the varsity guys in front of them do, giving them their turn, and being able to now showcase these kids to get the most experience that they can this year to build for next year.
Matt Masala comes up, the junior. He's carried the ball 26 times on the season. So 3rd down now coming up for Southern Columbia. Jim Roth calling the play. He'll tie George Curry with the win today. 455 wins in his 37 years at the helm. He is stepping down as athletic director, and he said, 1 year too late, the way things have gone this year.
Nobody knew what it was going to be like this year, and he was really lamenting on how tough it was to try to reschedule games when they said they were only going to go with district games. They wanted to try to stay local, stay close.
Ian Yoder in at quarterback number 7 loses yardage, and it'll be 4th down now. The punt team comes on for Southern Columbia.
Again, they just try to go with that deep motion. I think this was a quarterback keep the entire way. But again, now McDevitt does a nice job of stopping them, forcing them up into a punting situation.
Shabazz on the tackle. So McElroy back to receive the Carter kick. So Southern Columbia doesn't know when they're going to play next week. They're listed originally like 11 a.m. on Saturday, but
play, snap infraction, offense, 5-yard penalty.
We also have to congratulate Jersey Shore.
Oh, they did a great
nice
job.
win last night.
They really did. And again, Coach Gavin down there wherever he goes, he has success.
Short kick. Bishop McDevitt will have an inside Southern Columbia territory at the 45. Trailing by 36, they'll set it and the clock will roll. So a lot to digest with this team with Southern Columbia. I don't know much more you can say. They start young, they start the wing tee young, and that's the way it's a program. They just they don't rebuild, they reload.
They really do. And again, that's Coach Roth I know that I spoke to him years ago at a Jerry Prosciutti clinic about it, trying to get the community to do what you want at the high school level. And obviously we've seen after 37 years what it does for a community, that these kids they aspire to step out there as a Tiger. They want to be state champions like the previous Tigers, and it just keeps going.
Winning breeds winning. Santo going to lay it out. And diving catch almost brought in by Corey Wright Downing. Yeah. Some of the backups now in for Southern Columbia.
Again, Santo has a little bit of time. There was some pressure there. Again, but the running backs have to do a bit of a job. And again, great layout, great effort, just couldn't haul that one in.
And despite that being an incomplete pass, the clock will roll. We're over that 35-point mark here in the 4th quarter of this Class AA semifinal. All kinds of time for the quarterback. Lays it up and it goes incomplete. 3 white jerseys there. It's knocked down. Looks like that Logan Potter, number 6.
Again, the snap went to his left. He's looking downfield. He rolls to his right. And you'll see right in here, this is like an experience when you get 3 receivers in the same area.
Third down now, waiting this team from Bishop McDevitt, who, all in all, they're going to look back and they're going to remember this game. A lot of these players will now be scattered throughout the Catholic League, you would think, right?
They will.
A lot of schools down there as they combine. But, boy, I know Coach Watkins was really looking forward to having this team. They're going to Santo lay it again downfield, one-on-one coverage. Well, a flag on the play.
I believe that's offensive pass interference on that one. Number 24, you could see pushed off.
But you got to feel for that coach. I mean, he's playing a young, talented team.
And that they got this far.
And they got this far.
On the offense.
But now he's going to be looking for a job, a position. He's also athletic director. And, only 5 years coaching.
Well, and again, the success he's had this year with his young program, he just saw that right before that, the push-off he did. He's not going to have a problem, or any of his staff is going to have a problem getting a coaching job down there, especially because there's so many schools down there in that area, the Catholic League and then suburbia right
the
around
public
that.
league.
Yep. So, but he did. He really had high aspirations for this team. And again, but when you run into a buzzsaw like Southern Columbia, it makes for a long afternoon.
Fourth down play now coming up.
No, I didn't. Actually.
Santo on a quick hitter to Kinsey, and Kinsey's tripped up at the 1. They say he's down. 44-yard gain to Kinsey. It'll be a figure law first down inside the Allied Services red zone. First and goal for the Lancers.
It's just a nice pass and run. Look at that. Wide open, splits the zone coverage. Right there, number 15 with the touchdown-saving tackle. That was Michael Yankowski, a junior, getting some time back there as his defensive back spot.
Ball's on the turf. They're still fighting for it, and it's going to be McDevitt ball.
Second down. Yep, I saw the official.
Pershing, with the fumble recovery, number 44.
Just a bad snap. The quarterback just pulled out a tad too soon, and you saw that ball just slipping around down there.
Both guys had it, and then
you see the official right there giving the Longhorn sign for
so
second down.
Back out to the 6 clock continues to roll. Inside handoff. That is Kenner, and he's in for a Blaze Alexander touchdown for Bishop McDevitt, the freshman. Scores here in the state semifinals.
He just pulled his way in there, dragging 2 Southern Columbia defenders with him for that touchdown.
They'll go for 2. Santo gets the play from Coach Watkins. So a couple nice plays for McDevitt.
Well, again, when you're playing in a game, you're not going to stop and say, "Oh, it's over." You're going to play to the very last, to that last bell goes off or the gun goes off, whatever you want to say, the last whistle. And especially with McDevitt not going to be going back to their school ever again at the end of this year.
Timeout, Bishop McDevitt.
Timeout White. Timeout White.
We'll take a quick timeout. 2:43 in this one. Southern Columbia is out in front big. So after the quick Keystone College timeout, Bishop McDevitt on the 2-point conversion goes in for the extra point. We'll take a look at it now.
They go with the RPO, and they just go with the swing out to number 19 on there for that 2 points. That was a nice job by those guys, not giving up and playing to the very end.
Watson on the play. You know, we talk about Southern Columbia, 8 first-year starters, coach, on offense, 9 first-year starters coming back on defense. And to go now to 11-0 on the season with a chance at a 4th straight state title, it's just unbelievable. Maybe not for Southern Columbia.
Not well. If you think about it, the young men that are playing this game 15, 16 years ago, they were winning. So that's all they know. And the way that I still can't grasp my mind around it, that Coach Roth right now has just tied George Curry's record with 455 wins. 10 state playoff championships. It's just mind-boggling that this team and Coach Roth and his staff have done so well for so long.
Lackawanna College kickoff by McElroy. Taken down. So Southern Columbia offense will come back out. Masala slipped down on that. He had the ball at the 10. So clock will roll. And Yoder will come on to take a couple snaps here. Some changes from McDevitt as well. They're bringing players in and out. Masala, couple yards.
Solid hit right there. Solid gun on the outside, and you'll see number 25 in there, and number 5 coming in, doing a nice job for the Lancers on that. That was Morgan Judge.
Coach and I will be on the field after the game with our Allied Services players of the game, and we'll go with Gavin Garcia and Braden Wisloski. We'll also try to grab Coach Roth, who, again, ties George Curry. He had nice things to say about George, but he learned how to build a program, and that's what he really, it was not really X's and O's. It was more how George Curry went about his business and how the program went about their business as the Hershey Kisses fly down from the stands.
Yeah, Coach Curry was not a wing T guy, and
No.
Coach Roth is, so that's why, Bob, when you were saying about the X's and O's. But one thing George Curry did really well for the community at Berwick was to allow them to be winners, and he really promoted football, not just for Berwick kids, but for all Pennsylvania football. I know he sent college scouts to me when I was down in Bucks County, sent them to me when I was in Tunkhannock, and he does that for any coach. And Coach Roth does the same thing. He just says, hey, there's a kid up at Tawanda. Go see Coach Dawsey up there. He's got a great kid, or whoever the coach might be.
Should be the last play of the game as Hershey Kisses raiders down here in Selinsgrove as Southern Columbia Tigers will make their 19th appearance in Hershey, looking for their 4th straight Class AA state championship. The final score here, Southern 42, Bishop McDevitt 14.
Roth, assigned for his 455 wins. You can see out in front, right at the 50-yard line. Try to grab our players of the game after this. Gavin Garcia. And, of course, Braden Wisloski. Coach Seachak also joining me on the field.
First of all, congratulations.
Well, here's the ceremony. We'll have to wait a minute to get the players. course, he ties George Curry. We'll see if we can listen in.
But it is also an extraordinary accomplishment for our head coach, Jim Roth. 455 wins puts him atop the mountain in Pennsylvania. He has tied the legendary George Curry for wins in his career. Coach, you always say it's about the players. It is. First, we play, all those and those before, but you are the common denominator. You are the person that has led us to all of these victories. If you played here for the last 30 plus seasons, everyone has a gold medal. Today you are the gold standard, the black and gold standard. Congratulations, Coach Roth. 455 wins. Aaron has something for you from all the players who have part of this win.
So, special presentation from the Alumni Association and all the alumni from Southern Columbia who played under Coach Roth.
I've been asked
Coach
about
Roth.
this as it's been approaching, and I'd rather have it just be over. It's about playing each game, winning the next game, doing what we need to do each season. This is tough the way this mic rebounds. But again, you guys made this special. Obviously, if we're not playing for a state championship, you know, it really takes away from any type of recognition or honor. It's overwhelming to have this honor. Probably won't sink in for a while. Again, I'm more concerned about what happened today, what happens next week. But I have to give a big shout out to the coaches on our staff, currently on our staff, all of our former coaches and players. There's so many, you know, key people over the years, players and coaches that have contributed to this. The fans, the community, you know, great community with a lot of parents who are dedicated and allow you guys to do what you need to do for us to be successful. So there's a lot of people that have a role in this, and I look at it as a team accomplishment and a program thing. But again, it's special because of where we are right now, going for another state championship. And the other thing that I could just say to you guys as a team personally, that I'll remember that it was this group, it is the team that I had when it happened, and it's certainly going to be that much more special with a W next week. Thank you.
So Coach Jim Roth talking to the crowd here at Herrick Bowling Stadium. We're going to try to grab our players of the game with Southern Columbia's 42-14 win over Bishop McDevitt. They'll head and play Wilmington next week in the state finals. Time to be determined. Looking for their fourth straight championship overall as they hoist Coach Roth onto their shoulders. It's a special moment for them because many doubted if this team could get back to the state finals. They played as one team together and they played as one. Got our players right now, Gavin Garcia and Braden Wistowski. And Gavin.
Right here, you two guys, right here. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Gavin. You talked to me right here. Now let's talk about Coach Roth. What does he mean to the program? What does this mean win for him?
He means everything. We knew going into this game, if we won, that he'd be on the top of Mount Rushmore by himself. And we came out wanting to do that, and we did it. And I think he's happy of us, and we're proud of him.
You guys were down 6-0, and some people are tweeting, "Oh, it's gonna be a tough game." But that's not what Southern Columbia is. What made you just come back, and were there some jitters in the beginning?
Listen, we knew this team had a high-powered offense, and we knew if we stayed in the game and did our offense that they weren't going to be able to keep up. The offense got clicking, defense got us the ball, and we did what we did and came out stronger after that.
And Braden with a one-handed catch today, I think, right? Did you have the one? Oh, that was Rose. But you had a couple touchdowns today. What does this mean, win for you and the team?
It's a great feeling for my boys, playing with them since I was a young kid, and I'm so happy for our Coach Roth.
And next week, let's bring in Coach Roth. Congratulations, Jim, if you could step up to the mic. I know you don't like to talk too much about about the win and everything, but you tie the legendary George Curry. I asked you about this week, about George, what you learned from him. But now that you have this 455, what kind of emotions are going through and the way this team and this whole community is celebrating you?
Like I said, the thing that I'm really focused on is this game today and next week, and I'll reflect back on the career, accomplishments later, but it makes it special to do it in a year where we're, again, playing for a state title. Makes it that much more special. Can't say enough about how much I respected Coach Curry and a lot of the things I learned from him and what he did for football, not only in the area, but the entire state. So, but yeah, it's just it's a special way to do it with a team that is, an undefeated season and playing for another state title.
Yeah, how about this team? They came together. You have like a bunch of new starters on both sides of the ball. Is this more special? Is this make it more special because of the way this team came together in this year we're having?
Well, it's very special. I mean, everyone is a little bit different. The last few, we had some great athletes. The expectations were so high at the beginning of the season every year, the last 3 years, actually, and it was a whole different feel coming into this season. Obviously, not only with replacing so many starters, but just with the pandemic and everything and the way the season started. But, these guys really came together, and it is a special group to be able to recover from all those losses and have so many first-year starters and be in this position.
Well, congratulations, Jim. Thanks for everything that you've done, and thanks for the help today. And good luck next week in Hershey. We'll see you down there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Jim Roth, the coach with 455 wins, ties the legendary George Curry for most all time. We're going to bring in Coach Seachak now as he makes his way onto the microphone. And Coach, what more can you say about Coach Ross, the way he celebrated in this community and the way this team performed this afternoon?
He's just such a humble man, and he knows why he's here. He knows what he's doing, and it's not about him. It really never has been. We always have to put our egos in check, put them in the back pocket, and you're only as good as your last game, and he was pretty darn good today.
You know what was pretty darn good? Our crew this year. A short amount of games. We did 12 games in about 14 weeks. They were there every week. They set up everything. Yes. They broke down everything. We're on Fridays and Saturdays. We're on a Saturday this afternoon. And boy, what a great job by our crew this year on Friday Night Rivals.
Hey, if they can make me look good, that's huge. And I appreciate everything they've done for us, Bob. Really, the replays, every little thing that we do, trying to make our fans well informed and give them the best entertainment we can.
Well, thank you for doing the research, for doing the hard work. A lot of huddle going on for both of us, but we got it done, and we can help. We want to thank all of the viewers this year for tuning in. Not many people can be in the stands, so we know we have a lot of viewers, and we thank them for everything they've done this year. So our final Friday Night Rivals game of the week, and what a way to go out. Southern Columbia headed to another state finals. And Coach, what more can you say about the Tigers? It's on to Hershey.
Wow.
They know the road.
Number 4, and they do know the road, and I think they like chocolate.
They do love chocolate. So that's going to wrap things up. For Jan Seachak, for Bob Ide, for Hannah O'Reilly, who's usually with us but couldn't join us this afternoon, and for the entire Fox 56 sports crew, so long from Sealands Grove, and good luck to Southern Columbia next week.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.